Hello and welcome to Crafting Bharat, Brand Ki Baat, an industry-first podcast that takes you behind the curtain to meet the people who bring brands to life. I'm your host, Shubhreet Kaur, a full-time vice president at AdFactors PR, a part-time influencer, and a proud mom to two firecracker daughters navigating it all. And I'm very excited to have you join me today. In this podcast, we are deep diving into stories that you don't usually hear. The hustle, the heart, and yes, all those late nights because we've all been there. It's about celebrating the creative chaos and the icons behind the brand that inspire, innovate, and shape our narrative. Today, we've got an exciting conversation lined up with some incredible professionals who've seen it all and done it all. They'll share their insights and stories and maybe even spill a little tea. This series is proudly brought to you by NewsReach, India's leading PR tech platform, in association with VC Circle and our production partner, HT Smartcast. A special thank you to our segment partner, Blue Tea, our gifting partner, The Forbidden Journeys, and our wardrobe and styling partner, White Chaos, in case you missed my very cute outfit today. And joining me today are two phenomenal professionals with decades of experience behind them, Chetan Mahajan and Arvind Saxena. Welcome both of you. Thank you so much for being here today.
It's a pleasure.
I'm going to jump right into it. We've taken a bit of a shortcut, or let's say an innovative shortcut, because of course we're in the industry of comms and we have to be innovative. And the first section is called the pitch, KRA of every professional. And what you have to do is pitch yourself to us and the audiences. So you have to let me know about yourselves. And Chetan, you will understand brand always first. So I'll go with Arvind first.
Oh, that's a difficult place to be, but arigato gozaimasu. My name is Arvind Saxena. I am the Chief Marketing Officer for NEC Corporation India. And Chetan, of course, is our partner. And what I do at NEC is tell the story about a 125-year-old startup. And let me reiterate, it is 125-year-old startup. Why a startup? It's a technology company based out of Japan. And why we call it as a startup is purely because whatever we have done over the years across 70 plus nations on the planet is to keep the citizens ahead of the technology curve. Whatever we do is with a brand tagline known as orchestrating a brighter world, which is all about making societies smarter, safer, better. And that's pretty much what we do in India. And what we are known for is the Aadhaar card in your pocket, or maybe when you go to the airport, you can use your face as a boarding pass. When you travel in a bus, the entire BRT system, which is smart transportation, and smart cities. These are some of the things that we are doing in India, and hopefully people like all of us are experiencing this technology, multiple platforms on a daily basis. So for us, the motto is a happy citizen is our true brand ambassador. Without NEC coming out in the front, we are the true orchestrators in the back end and let the citizens feel the better experience.
Thank you so much, Arvind. And completely resonate with everything you have said. I think it's difference being made in everyday life, and that is what it all stands for. And now coming to you, Chetan, and I'm very happy, I must say this, I know it's a podcast and all, but I have to add this personal angle. You're one of my favorite people in the industry, so I'm very excited that you're on this podcast with
Likewise, Shubhreet.
Likewise.
All yours.
Super. So, I think amongst the professionals we have in India, I can easily say, I'm relatively unique, and that's why I'm also a Maverick.
I agree.
Because there are, of course, not many people in the ecosystem, who would have been qualified as a chartered accountant and are practicing public relations and integrated marketing today. And while this was the plan, I think what I bring to the table is also unique in a sense because I happened to taste failure much earlier in my life. So I flunked in class 8. And that's where the trajectory changed for me, So I was an aggressive sports guy. I was playing hockey for my school, for my state as well. But after flunking in 8th, I had to shift the focus from sports to studies. And I'm glad I did that. And that changed my overall trajectory. And it also brought a very fascinating learning for me that, of course, if you bring everything together, from a career point of view, unfortunately in our country, you still have to be good in studies. And unfortunately, I couldn't get to a marketing MBA school. And in our days, of course, the pecking order was, if you can't be a doctor, you have to be an engineer. If you can't be an engineer, you have to be a chartered accountant. If you can't be a CA, then you have to be a lawyer. If you can't even do that, then God helps you. So I fitted in the third category and were left with no option. I had to do CA, and that's when I moved to Delhi. But in my heart, I was always a person who would love to bring people together and create, fun and action with all these people. And fortunately for me, my first job was with 2020 Media,
Yes.
where I met my first boss as well, Sunil Agarwal. He was an absolutely amazing person. And after setting the processes right in the first 15 odd months, I walked up to Sunil and I said, give me something more interesting to go or to do, or let me go. So that's when he moved me to the business side of the things. And I started that in 1999, in 2010, while we were in the process of getting acquired by MSL Group. I became the CEO of the company, and then we transitioned to 2020 MSL. Was very lucky to work with brands like Google, Facebook, WhatsApp, Airbnb, Netflix, Xiaomi. It's an endless list, so of course, can't complain about not having an opportunity which was the best in the country. And then MSL Group happened, and finally in 2017, I moved to H&K Strategies, and that's where the entrepreneurial bug finally bit me. Not many people get started on their own in the age of 45, but I took that chance. And so a combination of business, which comes from, fortunately from my educational aspect, which was chartered accountancy, and then understanding the business from operations point of view, HR point of view, business development point of view, servicing point of view, crisis point of view, makes me so unique in the ecosystem that, I'm able to support our clients, not just from brand visibility perspective, but how does it eventually impacts the business. And I love doing that. I think, that's what, keeps me in action almost every day. I don't miss office, even when I'm relatively not doing well. And so excited to be in office and so excited to be here. And I'm really grateful that we have an opportunity to talk about all these things.
Love the energy with both of you. So I know it's going to be a really, really amazing session today. I have a few more questions for you. We have a section called From the 90s to the 20s, because there's been a lot of evolution in how comms or marketing is being done. How are we talking to our consumers? We've moved from a broadcast model to a social model. So I'll start with you, Chetan. From what traditional comms was, now everyone is consuming information in the palm of their hand, right? And there's so many platforms, there's tools that go beyond traditional media. What do you think is the most challenging aspect of translating a brand's narrative or a message today, in India especially, because we're a very diverse and unique market?
I think the most challenging aspect is the brands themselves are not very sometimes comfortable or confident in bringing everything together. So they have multiple stakeholders who are driving multiple agendas for the same brand. They love to work with their own separate agencies. So harmonizing of the messaging and making it very, very efficient both from a cost point of view and from a delivery point of view is the biggest challenge. And, for example, our relationship with NEC has, of course, been for the last 4 years, and Arvind gives us that flexibility to not just think from a PR perspective. While our mandate is PR, but when it comes to digital, when it comes to events, when it comes to even paid collaborations, I think, we work everything together. And that's what really works in the ecosystem. Clients or people who don't allow this, I think they are just only compromising their own ability to represent themselves in a very harmonious manner to their stakeholders.
Arvind, I would actually love your take on that too. Of course, he's mentioned you are very flexible, but what do you think is the apprehension on a brand side on why they probably restrict themselves from being flexible and open about it?
There is a very old doha. जाति न पूछे साधु की पूछ लीजिए ज्ञान मोल करो तलवार का पड़ा रहने दो म्यान. I truly believe in the information, knowledge that is available with us is never sufficient. There are specialists like them, like you guys, and there are, like I mentioned, a lot of social listening where our end consumers are the citizens of the nation. Whatever they feel, if we can incorporate that as a genuine storytelling and impact in their life, what you guys feel when you board a flight, what you guys feel when you are walking on the street, you being a female, are you feeling safe on the street or not? Is the smart city helping you or not? Is the real story that we narrate to the world. Second thing, एक बहुत ही पुराना गाना आप लोगों ने सुना होगा, सजन रे झूठ मत बोलो खुदा के पास जाना है, ना हाथी है ना घोड़ा है वहाँ पैदल ही जाना है. It is all about honest storytelling. It is all about being honest to your audience.
Absolutely.
And if you are honest, simple, I think your work is done. Where brands go wrong, where people like me or anybody else would go wrong is कि हम जब कुछ बहुत ही अलग से मैं कुछ मार्केट में नया लेके आया हूँ, मैं तो आज कुछ ऐसा करके दिखाऊंगा. मैं अभी आपने वो सुना होगा, एक वो एक्ट्रेस ने सर्वाइकल कैंसर के लिए पोस्ट डाला था कुछ दिनों पहले. वो so many people were fired and nobody knew that company, a startup company. These are all fake gimmicks. Don't do it, irrespective of the nature of business, size of the business, where you are, what you do. Be flexible, but be honest. And trust your partners. Trust your journey.
Honest
So true.
storytelling, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So I'll come to you because you just touched upon it briefly. NEC's innovative work is very, very well known. I know you are silent as the brand behind the innovative work, but for those who know, they really know. And you've had quite a journey too. So personally for you, what was the biggest aha moment in adapting all this forward-thinking tech that is, now meeting India's unique needs? Because again, when the storytelling comes to India, we're very diverse, and that's probably our biggest strength as well. So what was your aha moment that we've nailed this?
Okay, so when the supremo of the nation, Modi ji, witnessed NEC in one of the events, and he spent maximum time while he was walking through the aisle and he was witnessing all the other technology players. It was a government initiative, and we were just one, you can say, a demo participant there. He spent maximum time in knowing about NEC.
Wow.
Same goes true whenever he goes to Japan. He always makes an effort to catch up with people from NEC. That's at a much larger scale. At a micro level, the technology that NEC uses has helped lot of people to detect crime or किसने क्या गड़बड़ करी उसको पकड़ने के लिए. There are certain law authorities that are using our solutions. I think if we can make society safer, if we can keep ourselves safe, that is the real aha moment. With Chetan being here, the biggest aha moment for us as partners was to launch the first campaign, NEC Makes It Happen, which was a big success and which gave a lot of visibility to our brand. And I think that was the true introduction of NEC to the world, or at least in India.
Oh, absolutely, and I think Arvind is being very humble. At least I don't know of any other brand in the country which touches every citizen in this country.
Yeah.
In more than many ways, whether it's about their identity, whether it's about their safety, whether it is about convenience. There is no other brand who does this. And, both Arvind and the brand, they are very, I would say, relatively shy. Unlike many other brands who would talk about things first and then make it happen. NEC makes it happen and then perhaps talk about the stories about how did we make this miracle happen.
Chetan, I have a question for you. Both of you have, great camaraderie going on as brand and agency, and that is how that relationship should be. It should be a partnership. And when we have people who sort of considering whether they want to enter the PR industry, or a lot of it is thought of as a BAU work, press releases hai, ye hai and all. And you are someone who who thrives on relationships, right?
Yeah.
What recommendations, or let's say what's your experience been towards, and what advice would you give to anyone who's trying to enter the PR industry or currently, considering it, in how you should have a relationship that is partnering with a brand and having a transparent, honest conversation versus something that's a tactical, deliverable-based relationship? And I'm sure you'll have the experience to back this advice up. So hence, I'm asking.
I think it's simple, Shubhreet. If you go by the simple definition of a trusted advisor, who we eventually are, and anybody who is, I would not say PR, because PR alone, in my view, is it's not a unidirectional heart. So you have to bring everything together to make this happen.
Yeah.
And anybody who's entering this ecosystem, which is brand consulting, PR, digital marketing, and everything else, I think it's very important for them to understand, the first and foremost thing is to win the trust of the partners and the clients. And the only way to achieve that, and I swear by this, David Meister trust equation, which is, credibility, reliability, intimacy, by self-orientation. I think credibility comes, with your expertise, and how often did you bring that expertise to make miracles happen. Reliability is how, how consistent you are. Do you keep the promises that you make?
Yeah.
Intimacy is knowing the client beyond the person who is when he or she is the brand custodian. Till the time you don't know the human being, because we are a network of humans, not just brands and professionals and consultants. If you don't go beyond the business, it becomes very difficult to comprehend the real brief, the real challenges, the real pains of the client. And then, of course, if you keep your clients ahead of your own interest, that builds the best trust equation, which allows the client to be themselves, be vulnerable. Because if they trust you, they will share the real challenges with you. If you know what the real challenges are, you are not in the diagnosis mode, then you are able to actually deliver what is required. And I think my only advice to people is, ahead of everything else, even your foundational skill sets, if you work on these three things and keep your interest, if you keep your client's interest ahead of your interest, I think that's the winning formula.
Thank you. That's seriously, I think, very, very resonating advice, and something that will really help everyone who wants to enter here and grow over here. We're going to move to a tea break and to our next section called What's the Tea? Okay, slightly fun section. So please be as candid as you want.
Cool.
And also just try out our blue tea. It's very refreshing.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah, and after all that talking, we needed a break also.
Yeah.
Okay, so no filter. And Chetan, high
That's a tough
expectations
one.
from you. Huh? I'm already setting the pace over here. So just, answer what comes to your mind, and they're fun questions. And I understand that maybe some things cannot be said, but spill as much tea as you can possibly.
Okay, sure.
So I'll start with you, Chetan. What is the craziest demand a client has ever asked you?
That happens every day.
Yeah, craziest one. Arvind wala hi bol do.
No, fortunately for us, I think, Arvind has been, of course, any good client would push your abilities, push you to think more creatively, more aggressively, but within the realm of things, which is possible and not possible. And sometimes, it's even good to push the limits, to impossible things. But it's important to remember that, what can practically be done and what can't be done. I'll give an example, of course, I would not name the clients here, but one of our clients compared themselves, so it's a startup which is like 10 months old, and said, we're doing as fascinating work as NVIDIA is doing, so why can't we get on the front page of Economic Times? I don't know how to respond to that question. With $500,000 of funding, if somebody is looking for front page news, again, this is goes beyond the generic comprehension of any professional. Again, the challenge here is particularly for the startup companies, if you ask them, they say, we don't have any competition. It's unbelievable. We are not living in a world where,
you don't have competition.
You're beginning a company which is monopolist. So it is sometimes it's very, very crazy. But with conversations, insights and practicality, we have to more often than not bring people down to the ground level.
So,
अब इसमें आपको पता लगा कि how reasonable we have been as a client with them.
No, listen, he's all praises. Plus, he's also on a podcast, though. Arvind, asli kahani to off the record pata chali gayi
both
mujhe.
reasonable. No, honestly, both reasonable, and I think, again, pushing us adequately, but not where we would break.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference.
And there is I completely agree with you. I think it's also the same scenario with how you handle teams of people, right? You do need the push so that the motivation counts, but how you do it makes all the difference.
So true.
Yeah.
You know what Chetan and I, we feel, and this is my personal philosophy also, an agency and client relationship is more like a wedding. It's like a marriage, okay? There may be misunderstandings, there may be, अच्छा वो wife ने salt ज़्यादा डाल दिया, but still, she would tend to understand that you are not happy with the food. So, it takes time for people to come together, but they stay together. There may be difference of opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And मेरे जैसे लोग या जैसे जो marketing वाले लोग जो होते हैं, वो करते क्या है? Agency बदल दो. Agency बदल दो. क्यों बदल दो भाई? वो जब तुम्हें समझता है.
And the time laga ki you spent it, exactly. Okay. How many times Chetan, have you said we'll get back to you without a plan in mind?
8 out of 10 times.
I love it.
No, but see, it's unfair to defend myself to present something on the go.
Yeah.
Because, once you've said it, and we live by this, make commitments and meet commitments. So once you've said it, then you'll have to figure out how to meet it.
Yeah.
So it's, we are better off by absorbing the brief, going back to the drawing room and thinking about it and then making a commitment.
One more fun one, but I think this could be an inspiring one too. What's the most unconventional way that you have come up with a winning idea?
And the most recent one was in my sleep.
Your brain was doing the work while you were resting.
So see, what happens, Shubhreet, when you're obsessed with a challenge or a problem, I think while, physically you go to sleep, your brain continues to process that information. And both Arvind and I, another thing, which is common between us is, we are early morning people. So Brahma Muhurat time is, fantastic. I think that's the time, when you are just, about to wake up. For me, the most recent winning idea actually came in, when I was just about to get up and it was a phenomenal idea. I don't want to talk about the client and idea right now.
Fair
but
enough.
that was the first time that happened in my sleep,
No, I completely get it, and usually when I'm working with teams as well, so I also am my most efficient very early morning. So I'm like, you will get messages from me, do not need to reply to it till you get to office. That's totally okay, but that is when my mind is working the fastest. I'm like sending all the instructions.
This is
what we will do.
This is ditto.
But you asked for one, I'm going to give you one more, which happens very, very frequently. Unfortunately, I'm not running a lot these days, but I think running is equivalent to meditation. So which also means, when you're in a meditative mode, that's the time, most of the most beautiful ideas will click.
Nice. We need to start running.
Or meditating.
Join me for a game of golf over the weekends, and that's an ultimate meditation. So please.
So find your meditation, basically.
Yeah.
Could be
Absolutely.
anything.
Absolutely.
Okay, one last fun one. What is the most creative excuse you have given for missing a deadline? And I'm sure itne saalon mein ek do to honge, Chetan, you cannot say aaj tak nahi hua.
No, so see, 8 out of 10 times again, and that's why we enjoy such beautiful relationships with our clients. We be honest. If we forget, we tell them, unfortunately, we missed it because, it just went off the calendar. But yeah, sometimes, also looking at the nuances of how clients are, because not all clients are same. Some people are very appreciative of the other person being very honest and candid. Some may not really like it. So we have fallen sick many times. We have delayed flights many times. So stuck in a no network zone very often. That also happens. But Yeah, if the client understands us, which I think 9 out of 10 clients do, we
But
be
that
very, very
one-
honest.
Got
Yes.
it. Fair enough. I appreciate the honesty. Okay, Arvind, which emoji best describes your regular workday vibe?
This
That's
one.
nicely done. I hope we caught that well. If AI could automate one part of your job, which is the one that you will gladly let go? कि ये मुझे करना ही नहीं है, ये AI को करने दो.
मेरा ऐसा कोई काम है नहीं जो AI कर सकता है, तो मतलब मैं AI को इसलिए यूज करूंगा so that it can identify that one job which I should let go of. It's the other way around.
Good one.
Now, given NEC and what it does, what's the most unexpected challenge you face while integrating technology, especially in remote Indian regions? I know, slightly less fun question, but I think it's something that will really bring more insight in.
I think the belly of the nation resides in the rural areas. Good part is that everyone is having a mobile phone. And I've been part of the telecom revolution, so I know how difficult it was about 10 to 15 years back, having even a tower in a village. I think there is a lot of potential for education and healthcare to grow in the rural areas. Authorities, government, policymakers, they are trying their level best to enable those citizens. I think we still have a lot of way to go. Organizations and enterprises, if they invest in rural areas, I think the better ROI will come to them, better talent can be developed, and we will not be restricted only to large cities and metros.
What's the most surprising insight you've gained while implementing a smart city project in India?
I think every smart city is unique in its nature. Smart city can be developed for transportation issues, safety issues, sanitation issue. And me and my boss, we were there for a G20 summit, and there was somebody from the neighboring country that he posed a very different question, that we have a problem of mosquitoes. आपके पास ऐसा कोई टेक्नोलॉजी है जिससे हम मॉस्किटोज को रोक सके? बिकॉज जब तक आप मॉस्किटो नहीं रोकोगे, नो मैटर मैं कितना भी हेल्थ केयर इन्वेस्टमेंट कर दूंगा, मैं कितना एम्बुलेंसेस कर दूंगा, मैं कितना मेडिसिन ले आऊंगा, my problem will not solve. So every smart city is placed with a very, very unique opportunity as well as a challenge.
Well, things that one has to think of, going down from, let's say, what is to be covered at the 80,000 feet, but what is also to be covered
at the ground
literally. Wow, very interesting. Okay, last section of the day, which is rapid fire.
अभी तक क्या चल रहा था?
अब वो हम है ही ऐसे fast tracked. Okay, but we'll go. So again, first thing that pops into your mind, because we've got to end on a high note and a fun note. I will start this time with you. Okay, biggest risk you've taken in your career?
Moving from my initial days of doing telecom sales into marketing and brand management, and just to let you know, I am an engineer who was placed in a telecom company, MBA in telecom, and then from doing sales, crossing the border to brand building, and today, along with him, writing all the press releases. So I think that's the
PR, he's coming to take over the PR part very soon.
And the biggest risk, as in this was one, and then I reinvented my career, took a break from a good high-profile job. 2018, took a break, went to US to pursue my Ivy League education, do my second master's, and then come back into the corporate world.
First word that comes to your mind when you think branding?
Simplicity.
I really like that. Meetings, virtual or in person? Work under pressure, thrive or survive?
Thrive and give me more. Dil mange more.
Favorite book that inspires you?
Tuesdays with Mori.
Okay, add it to the list. Okay, Chetan, pitching or servicing?
Both, but pitching more.
A book or a quote that inspires you?
So I'll go with both. I think the quote, "Marta kya na karta." And the book, while there are many, I think amongst the recent ones, I like the Courage to be Disliked. I think the ability to build horizontal relationships and let go of how bosses and people think from a vertical relationship perspective it's a game changer.
Now, I'm going to read this one.
It's an amazing, amazing book.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. This was wonderful, really nice conversation. It's so good having you both here, and I hope you had a good time too.
Oh, absolutely amazing.
Super.
Time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Arvind.
And that's a wrap on the rapid fire round and this episode. Short, sweet, and full of surprises. Thank you to our guests for playing along and sharing all those fun moments. A big shout out to everyone for tuning in. This series is proudly brought to you by Newsreach, India's leading PR tech platform, in association with VC Circle and our production partner, HT Smartcast. A special thanks to our segment partner, Blue Tea, our gifting partner, The Forbidden Journeys, and our wardrobe and styling partner, White Chaos. Until next time, stay tuned, keep crafting those stories, and we'll see you on the next episode.